welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright, so today is the 1st. So I actually have this that they gave me an orientation. I actually applied on Indeed. So I went on Indeed and I kind of just applied to whatever, like every position that they literally had. I just applied to it. It didn't matter if it asked me for my driver's license. If it didn't ask me for my driver's license, I just applied for it. I don't have my driver's license, but I still applied. Because sometimes, like, even if you don't have your driver's license, and they see that you applied, they're literally during the interview ask you if you have your driver's license. And obviously if you're not a good pick, like, for that specific role, obviously they're not gonna hire you. But it's better to like still do it so they can still see that you're interested in working with them. For one of the positions that I applied for, they actually sent me like an interview link where it was like, it wasn't an interview link, it was the Hire View. I don't know if you guys know specifically what that is, if you received that already, but I got like this Hire View link. Basically I had to like record me talking and answering some questions. I'm gonna be honest, I use ChatGPT for that. So what I did, I had my iPad, so on my iPad, like, I would ask the questions, and then on my phone I would just literally answer the questions on there. So I turned that in, and it was like, I believe like 8 questions, and then apart from that, then you had like multiple choice questions. Then I kept on applying to different positions because I feel like even though you do that for a specific role, they're not gonna hire you for the specific role. So when I answer those questions, when I answer those questions, I then went and I applied for a different role, and then they were like, "Oh, we seen your video that you already like submitted to us or whatever." Like, they sent you a whole message. We seen that you already submitted basically like the video from Hire View already, so we don't need that. And then after they already seen that, then they sent you a different link that's open 24/7. So with that link, you gotta try to like do it as quick as possible, because supposedly if you don't do it as quick as possible, another person can literally do the interview and just take your job. So as soon as you can, literally as soon as you see that link that they send it to you, it says 24/7, try to like join the interview, because that's the actual interview where they're gonna ask you a few questions, and based on the role that you apply for, it shouldn't be too hard. Just make sure that before you start the interview, you have like if you already have your guard card, which you should, try to have it like next to you. So if they ask you like, "Oh, do you have your guard card?" you can just be like, "Yes, it's right here, I like already have my guard card." Once the interview is done, they're probably going to, like, before the interview is done, actually, let me backtrace. Before the interview is done, they're going to actually like, because the interview is basically like them hiring you, if I'm being honest with you. They're gonna ask you questions that you can literally answer right then and there. And honestly, there was one time where they asked me a question and I was just like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to answer that, because I was nervous during the interview, and they were just like, "Oh, it's okay," like they try to like rephrase the question or whatever. Like, be professional, but don't be so professional to the point where they be like, "I feel like she's lying," or "I feel like he's lying." But after the interview, they sent me, I believe it was like 3 or 2 separate links. One was for the background check. So I did the background check where they just asked me again a few questions, my previous like employment, like where I was previously working at, and certain things like that. They did say it could take, if it's your first time applying, if that was your first interview and whatever, they said it could take up to a week. So for me, the first time, it took a week for my orientation date. It actually took a week for them to tell me when I was going to start orientation. Also, Allied is always hiring on Mondays. Like, they always have interviews on Monday. So I believe now if you show up to like an Allied office, whatever, Allied branch on a Monday, most likely they're probably just gonna tell you apply online. But yeah, they're always taking interviews on Monday. That's what I'm gonna say. They're always taking interviews on Monday. So yeah, it takes up to a week. Like I was saying before, it takes up to a week for the background check to clear. It could take up to a week. and then after that clears, they'll give you your date to start orientation. My first time when I received that, I couldn't show up, so you could have an extra day to reschedule depending on why you didn't show up to your orientation the first time. And they were like, oh, we can reschedule, but you're allowed only up to 1 day of reschedule. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can reschedule it. And I believe it was the following day that they rescheduled me for the orientation, but I still couldn't show up the following day. So I went and I reapplied for a different role, which now I'm doing truck gate. So I do that for Ally now. I do truck gate, and truck gate is actually pretty easy, which if you guys want to know about it a little bit, I can tell you about it a little bit more about it in the next video. But when I applied the second time, it didn't take me a week for my background check to clear, because I had already done it previously. Literally, like how I said before that I had already applied for a different position, I didn't have to wait a week. That same day, after my second time doing my second interview, they sent me a message that same day saying that my background check had been clear. I just needed to like basically electronically, I needed to sign the paperwork again, but I think I did it on a Thursday, and that same day they sent me the message like, oh, your orientation is going to be on Monday. So I showed up to my orientation, and they did the mouth swab, which was literally just like putting a thing in your mouth and, you know, drug test. It's basically sitting on the computer like all day, just like answering questions, but the questions are literally easy, and they do give you a break. So you can take like your lunch or whatever, like an hour break. And I was there from 8:30 in the morning till 5 p.m. But some people, they left early. I had my 8-hour certificate, like my power to arrest certificate. I only had my 8 hours, and I needed an extra 32 hours because I needed to have 40 hours. So I needed to complete my 32 hours, but I did that literally during the orientation. If you're a rehire, most likely you're not gonna stay there during literally like the whole 8 hours. You're most likely going to stay there for only half of the hour, so like 4 to 5 hours is gonna take you to complete that. Personally, I have to go and do it again, my orientation. Unfortunately, that's gonna be another video, like I said, that I explained that. Right now I am still basically working with Ally, but I did get fired, unfortunately, by accident. Yeah, I'm gonna explain everything in the next video. So I got fired by accident, even though I wasn't supposed to be fired, and that was on their end. Like, it was, I don't want to say their fault, but it was on their end. I wasn't supposed to be fired. So yeah, basically I'm still working with Ally. They just told me to come again for another orientation, so I'm gonna go on Monday. This Monday coming up, today is Saturday, so I'm gonna go on Monday. I chose the time. She literally told me, just let me know whatever date works for you so I can go and they can check my paperwork again and everything, and I can start work again, basically. But yeah, that's basically what it is. How Allied is. Yeah. As of right now, I like it. Allied, I feel like it's a very easy company to work for. It's a very easy company to work for, depending on what site they put you at. Right now, like I said, I do truck gate, and it's really not that difficult. You just have to make sure that, like, there's a lot of things that you need to remember, but they're not hard. Just make sure that when you are at your site, you do things correctly, because they're on me like for every single little thing. Like, you need to make sure when you're on the walkie-talkie, like, you say things correctly. But this is just like a short recap of, you know, like how it is when you first apply with Allied. If you guys do have certain questions or whatever, let me know. Like, I'll answer them in like the next video. Like, literally, I'll make a video and I'll try to answer all the questions. I literally I've been with Allied now for like, let me see, I started in June, so literally a month ago. It's about to be, actually, no, because we're in August. Today's August 1st. It started in June, so 2 months. So yeah, if you guys want to like ask me questions and I can answer them, let me because I would have no problems answering them.
Don't wanna wait on it tonight, I wanna get nasty.